What's up, comrades? It's Noon here, back with a new video. Today we're playing Crisis in the Kremlin, which is a alt history game done by Nostalgames. I played a few of their other games. This is a remake of one they made a while ago. They're pretty cool. In this, basically, we take over the leadership of the Soviet Union in 1985. Actually, not sure if we can select other dates, but that's fine. So we can choose one of these guys, or we can create our own general secretary. I'm just going to go with Vladimir Shabatsky because I like his name. I do know a little bit about the Soviet Union, communism. I once saw a meme that said that when the government does stuff, that's communism, and the more they do, the more communister it is. And there was a picture of Karl Marx next to that meme, so I think it's probably pretty reliable. And that's it. I don't know a huge amount about the 1980s in the Soviet Union, or many of the key historical figures or the events that were going on, so I'm going to muddle through here. Now, I've had a little click around the interface. It's pretty deep and complex, as you would hope from an old history game. We can, like, change our trade policy. Here's our science. There's a bunch of different types of science that we can do. And this is our parliament, or our political world. As I say, I've clicked through the interface a bit, but I've only played for a couple of weeks or something, so I really have no idea what's going on in this game. It's going to be extremely complicated and extremely hard, is my feeling. But something that's very important in these sorts of games is to have a silly ideology that you're trying to promote to give you some guidance, you know? So I think the silly ideology that we should go for is kind of a hippie, spiritual, kind of anarchisty, new age situation, which obviously is a great way to run a huge republic of 276 million people. So with that in mind, let's start doing some research. Space research, maybe? Or computer research? I think let's do computers. Let's start with actually maybe agricultural. Let's go for the Integrated Food Supply Program, which can give us a new food program or an agricultural automation program. I don't really know how any of the science or anything else works, so I'm kind of improvising here. Let's go some modern computer architectures. We can get a unified computer architecture and a main unified operating system. A real Soviet operating system sounds great. And it says we have some military points unused. I don't really, as I say, I don't know how the science works properly. I'm going to find that out, presumably too late. So we can either research heavy equipment or local conflicts. I feel like the local conflicts is a bit more kind of the vibe. Let's go back to the screen. So these are all about modifiers. I don't know if there's a way to, like, read what they are. The interface is a little baffling. Oh, okay. Some more resources here. There's also a bunch of overlays and stuff. So this is our Congress, and I think the main way that we make reform is by changing our doctrines. So we might want to, I don't know, go for a Soviet democracy, maybe? I'm not sure exactly what our silly ideological situation should be. Presumably a confederation. Or autonomy project, maybe. Maybe that's a bit more hippy-dippy anarchisty. A 6-chambered Yugoslav model. Wow, turns out I need to read about Yugoslavian politics. We can do a cult of personality. We can make ourselves a god. Or, oh, we could anonymize the current ruler. I like the idea of that. A shadow shogun. That sounds great. Let's try and work towards that. An attitude towards religion. Huh, okay. So currently we're atheists in state authorities, so presumably that means, like, you know, in any government situation. We could make the ideology a religion. Or, oh, spiritual but not religious. That sounds about right. Secular ethics, morality, and social contract. It's annoying. I kind of want to do either of those, but with all of these, there's this no modifier named period of settling into the job. I don't know when that goes away, but we also need to think about which faction we want to take control of. So, Vladimir Shabatsky, it's us, is a conservative. So I think these purple ones are conservative. So over here we can look at all of the factions. So yeah, the purple ones are conservatives. They do be liking me. There's only one neo-Stalinist, one social patriot. So, National Democrats strive to create a great people filled with spirituality and a fanatical belief in an organic state. I assume that's kind of like, oh yeah. This is what are they called? Nazbol. I don't think we want to do Nazbols. Lib Dems. Yep, that's a Lib Dem. Reformers. They want to combine the Hungarian Yugoslav economic paths with the liberal structure of Scandinavian socialism. Moderates want to just improve the situation in a democratic direction while maintaining the party's vanguard role. Conservatives, I think, they basically think we're doing fine. Neo-Stalinists want to implement Stalin's renewed ideas. Informal socialists, representatives of informal youth and intellectual movements, are in favor of retaining the state from the standpoint of democratic socialism. A constructive opposition by criticizing bureaucratization, lack of real workers' self-government. Cool. And social patriots. A great country where everything is subordinated to the state, and the state, in return, meets the needs of the population. Alright, I'm going to allow informal socialists, I reckon. I'm not sure. Not available until reformers or Lib Dems lead. Okay. Alright. Oops. I keep pressing escape to go back to the map, but it doesn't do that. Okay, and Norway's having an election soon. I don't know if we can easily interact with Norway. We can support the Loyal Party, which is the Norwegian Communist Party. Looks like they're not even getting anything in the vote, so I think that seems like it's not likely to succeed. Let's have a look at our budget real quick. This song's a jam. Okay, so we've got loans, exports, inflation. Just gonna turn up the audio for a sec here. Banger. I have no idea what this song is, but I'm enjoying it. Alright. Oh, you know what? Fully changed my vision. We're going for what are they called? The nuclear dolphin guys? I can't believe I've forgotten what they're called. This song has distracted me. Posadism, of course. We're going to be posadists. Great. Well, that means that we need to be investing in nuclear technology and in environmental support. I think we can reduce the import of art. Let's increase our state propaganda a little. Now, all of these do tell us what it is that they're changing, but I'd rather just kind of vibe it out, you know? Alright, let's hit play. Okay. Chenenko has passed away, and Vladimir Shebetsky has been elected as the General Secretary. Good-o, that's us. So this game is just going to basically be a series of events occurring. Euromissile crisis. After the Reagan administration, the détente of the 70s came to naught. We deployed several hundred medium-range missiles and planned to increase the supply. The USA began deploying other medium-range missiles. Alright. So we can increase the number of missiles and place them in Hungary as well. Continue the deployment in Eastern Europe, or a moratorium. Now, ultimately, our goal is going to be to develop big nuclear weapons all over the place. But I think we need to kind of chill with it, because I'm pretty sure we're going to get absolutely obliterated in any kind of actual war right now. So let's declare a moratorium. It's valid until November of this year. Okay. Got another event. The second most powerful person in the party and the state. We need our own team. We don't have a stable majority, so we need to choose who's the second secretary. So we've got 6 contenders. Kospelov, who thinks we're okay. I was hoping we'd be able to see, like, what the roles are and what they need, right? So they need, some of them need intrigue and thrift, and some need other stuff. I think for second minister we probably need diplomacy and intrigue. So this guy likes us a lot. He's a conservative, unambitious, a partocrat. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Ligachev feels okay about us. He's a moderate. He's a reformer with no diplomacy. This guy doesn't like us very much. He's a Lib Dem. There's another banger track going on right now. And Gorbachev, who really doesn't like us, but is a good fit for it. Euro-Atlantist marketeer. I think let's... Let's just go with Demichev. He seems like a fine, safe option. He's an ardent patron of the Podgevniki wing of the Soviet intelligentsia. According to others, he's an anti-Stalinist and opponent of nationalism. Alright. Got another event here. Sverdlov's Colonel. Changes and reforms require new personnel. There's issues with construction. Ligachov and Dolgik, who... Is he the guy that we just elected? No. Okay. Proposed to consider the candidacy of the first secretary of the Sverdlovsk Regional Committee. Okay, so we're basically like... Someone's like, hey, do you want to promote this guy to be a construction guy? He has improved regional indicators, food products, the construction of the metro. Sure. Or we can actually make him the Minister of Industry. That sounds good. I mean, you know, he's doing a good job. Let's make him the minister. Over the past 5 years, the Sverdlovsk region has become one of the most dynamic regions in terms of growth of industrial potential. Okie dokie. Another event here. Personnel issues. The Politburo Central Committee is in limbo between the Brezhnev generation and younger party members, but neither have a clear majority. So there are 2 places remaining. And we've got candidate members. Maybe let's go with moderate reformists. Or statists and orthodoxies. I was before thinking about trying to basically reform into a very open spiritual society, but now I want to open up communications with the dolphins, the aliens, and manufacture nuclears. Is that radical reformers? I don't think so. I think we're going slightly conservative, but like a weird conservative. Acid conservative, you know? Let's promote the Conservative Party members. Okay, so we've now got 3 new members of the Politburo, and the influence of conservative forces has grown. We must remain a solid monolith, the core of our society. Okay. Empty shelves in regions has gone from -1 to 2. So I don't know if that means that it's gotten worse or it's gotten better. We are currently working on the integrated food supply program. Civil points. Alright, let's put some more money into our science. And I don't know what Kultprozvet is. The intelligentsia likes us. Alright. Just leave that as is for now. I'm not entirely sure how the economy works. Acceleration. A number of economists and sociologists were given carte blanche to develop programs for economic reform. Significant lag between the production relations and the development of productive forces. Administrative methods of economic management over economic ones, and centralized over decentralized. Okay, so there's several solutions. Acceleration, expanding imports, budget spending, and recognizing the lag to achieve an advanced level of development of mechanical engineering. Okay? Or to restore Andropov's methods of enforcing discipline. Maybe it's all lies. I mean, I would like to accept acceleration, but it looks like we can't. There's not enough moderates, reformers, and liberal Democrats. So we can either say that we're already here, or try the Andropov methods. What's the Andropov? Enforcing discipline. Reduce the amount of downtime and production deficits. I think let's just stay as we are currently. We are faithfully, correctly, truly Leninist. Okie dokie. Treaty of Friendship, Cooperation, and Mutual Assistance is the basis of the Warsaw Pact Organization. Okay, so we could extend it. So we can continue with anti-Western rhetoric, continue with conciliatory rhetoric, or do it with unnecessary noise. I think let's go with the conciliatory rhetoric. We need to take our time to build up our nuclear stockpile here. Oh, looks like our shortage of food has disappeared. We are now in deficit, though. Anti-alcohol campaign. There were severe penalties for drinking at work. The cheapest Soviet vodka began with an initial cost of 4 rubles and 70 kopecks. Drunkenness in the country has acquired catastrophic proportions. 10 liters per person per year. Or more. So Ligachov is moderate and Solomentsev is a moderate. Ligachov tried to turn the city into a sobriety zone. Now they want to fight drunkenness. Reduce annual vodka production by 10%. Temperance societies and limit the sale. Brezhnev's campaign, increasing prices of high-proof alcohol and reducing its production in exchange for increasing the production of wine and beer. I mean, it's a nice economistic way of dealing with it. There's nothing to close the budget hole. Or we can make vodka even cheaper. So we can fight drunkenness. Income from agriculture will decrease by 30%. Continue Brezhnev's policy. Anti-alcohol propaganda. Ban strong alcohol, which reduces income. Or give the people even cheaper vodka. I'm kind of torn between Brezhnev's policy and the ban on strong alcohol. Let's go the low alcohol drinks. Propaganda campaign for a sober lifestyle began. Scenes with alcohol consumption was secretly cut from films. Okay. May or may not be any effect from that. Now we are actually losing money here, so let's balance our budget a bit right here. Maybe let's cut a little out of military industrial complex. No, we need to build those nukes. It's a problem. We need to do all of this. Let's cut a little from the special services. And a little... Let's cut a little from the civil servant bribes. Maybe cut another luxury goods. Campaign against racism. The Republic of South Africa is one of the most developed countries in the world, based on segregation and discrimination. They've got apartheid going. We all understand the basics of apartheid. Tricameral parliament for whites, coloreds, and Indians. Blacks were not citizens. Had their own authorities in their Bantustans. The reforms caused a split in the National Party. Okay. Despite Reagan's administration's favorable attitude towards the anti-communism of the National Party regime, they did impose sanctions. Yeah, let's join those sanctions. The alien comrades aren't going to come while we're still supporting Soviet Union. I mean, Soviet Union. That's so funny. Yeah, slip of the tongue there. While we're still supporting South Africa. Plus, that helps our relations with the USSR, which is nice. Let's see what we can do with China diplomatically. Nothing. Okay. Just wondering what we might be able to do here, but we'll just have to wait for the next elections. Norway had the Liberal Conservatives win. Okay, there's elections coming up in Finland, Denmark, and Ireland. I kind of like the idea of trying to promote loyalty in Ireland. Just for fun, really, but let's give it a go. So we can incite public unrest, shouldn't be too hard, in Ireland, or we can seek compromat. Let's incite some public unrest there. Oh, they are not happy with that. And some compromat, what the hell. And where else is there? In Finland and Denmark. The Socdems and the Liberals are both there. Danish Communist Party. Or we could support Finland. In Finland, who's our loyal party? The Finnish People's Democratic League. Let's support them. And what the heck, let's support them in Denmark as well, even though that's not going to do anything. Let's have a look at this event. Session of the Supreme Council. At the beginning of the next month, this next session of the Supreme Council is due to take place. We need to elect the head of the Soviet state. Which doesn't necessarily need to be the General Secretary of the Central Committee, which is us. So there are a few candidates. There's Kuznetsov, who's the current acting chairman. Andrei Gromyko. Okay, that's weird. There's clearly 4 here. Oh, okay. No, there's 3 or us. This guy's a reformer. This guy's a moderate, and this guy's a conservative. Or we can try and take it ourselves. People's favorite. I'm not sure about this. I feel like let's give it to Kuznetsov. Bit of corruption. This would deteriorate with the USA. This would improve our relationships with foreigners. We want someone who really is pretty keen on us, which is basically either Kuznetsov or ourselves. And then we'd change our doctrine to head of parliament, prime minister without power. Yeah, look, I think we should just stay with the tradition and make ourselves the head of the Central Committee. Great, so we were unanimously elected the chairman. Good for us. Now, I actually think I want to cut our budget for political PowerPoints. Where is it coming from? Diplomatic doctrines, economy. Okay. We're not actually paying for it, it seems. Just wondering about trying to pay back some of our loans here. Let's do it. All right. All right, we've got an event here. World Festival of Youth and Students in Moscow. Difficult international situation. We must be on alert. Minimize provocations from the West. Bans usually lead to a diametrically opposite result. Yep. Give young people carte blanche to criticize superpowers. Not limit contacts but censor possible anti-Soviet statements. Or it's necessary to limit contacts of our citizens. I think the song is about Shabetsky. There are some bangers on this soundtrack. Let's not limit contacts but censor anti-Soviet sentiments. I think it's a nice moderate option there. Okay, lots of stuff going on with the youth, opposing fascism and military dictatorships, radical leftist organizations. The inadmissibility of the revival of fascism and the incitement of a new world war. What will the slogan be? For victory over imperialism, solidarity, and Marxist change. Fighting against imperialism, for solidarity and social justice. By respecting our past, we build our future. For peace, solidarity, and social change. Globalize the fight for peace, solidarity, and development. Or informal. Alright, so we can basically, like, support China, have a pro-USA and France one, or say nothing. I think let's go the... China isn't very keen on us at the moment. Let's go with this one. You, the participants of the festival, boys and girls, personify the spring of humanity, the progress and hopes of your peoples. Simultaneous interpreters stop translating the speeches of those speakers who contained anti-Soviet statements, which caused some protests. The Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic leader changed from loyal to moderate. Okay. Okay, Reagan announced the development of the beginning of the Strategic Defense Initiative, anti-missile weapons in space. It's not going to work, but it will improve their military tech. An asymmetric response, which scientists believe would cost less than a full-scale response. Or could we de-escalate? Or try and develop our own SDI? I mean, yeah, of course we're going to develop our own response system. Military points, physics points, consensus utility, unity. Yeah, we're going to develop our own. Sov SDI is more realistic and thoughtful than the American one. Of course it is. Ha, let's see how our Western partners start singing after its implementation. Oh, okay, we're currently 0 relations with the USA. Okay, and military satellites was finished? Cool. So we can put spy satellites into orbit now, which is cool. Oops. Can we end the Cold War? Support terrorism? Support separatists? Alright. Right. Crisis in relations. An extremely aggressive foreign policy. Psh, they're the ones who started Star Wars. And we're an evil empire. Yeah. And they increased DEFCON. We have nothing to discuss with them. We can start a détente, which will cost us a bunch. Can we see where our ICBMs are? I'm not sure if it shows anywhere specific. I don't really want to spend the $50 is the thing. Alright, there's the DEFCON has gotten worse. Nazi criminal and sadist Joseph Mengele was found in Brazil recently. He escaped to Argentina and later moved to Brazil, where he died. Some public figures, due to the 40th anniversary in the Great Patriotic War, proposed to hold an anti-fascist month. We can offer to Brazil to carry out this campaign together. Okay, so we'd get a trade agreement with Brazil, and we would get them out from under the influence of the USA. I mean, hell yeah. Let's see if that pisses off the USA. A large-scale anti-fascist month began. And we've got an agreement on a bunch of stuff. As relations between Brazil and the US are deteriorating, they're tending towards cooperation with the USSR. Okay. Support the network. Alright, unclear what that means, but... Right, so these are all happening concurrently. Military and physics points. Let's go the proton collider. Now, financially, we're doing okay. Fate of a disgraced academician. Andrei Sakharov was a dissident stripped of all state awards for criticizing our troops' involvement in Afghanistan. He wants to allow his wife to travel aboard for treatment. She could request asylum in the West, but we can't release Sakharov since he knows the entire path of our development of atomic weapons. In the first outcome. Right, so I guess... Unclear exactly how this works, if it's like one or the other, or if it's one and then the other. I kind of want to keep things cordial with the US currently, so I'll let her leave for treatment. And so far, she's been well behaved, and he's kept his promise. Okay. Recently, our agents managed to contact CIA officer Aldrich Amiz. Not so long ago, he was transferred to the department that organizes operations in the territory of our country and gained access to the personal data of American agents here. Is disillusioned with the way American foreign policy went. Okay. So we can just buy him off for $50 and then -5. I don't know how that works really. Or we can just get him one off. I think we need to recruit him full time. $50,000 under codename Ludmila. 12 to 25 CIA agents were exposed, and we have a reliable agent in the heart of the CIA. That's awesome. Okay, and the head of the RSFSR has become loyal again. That's great. So we're currently gaining 13. I don't understand how the -2 works with the 13 as the surplus. Maybe it means next tick it's going to be 11. Death of Samantha. A plane crashed, including Samantha Smith. She published a book about meeting Soviet children. Okay, and we sent a letter of condolence. That is cute and sad. Alright, let's keep an eye on this, if it changes. For the last 5 years, Tikhonov has been the head of the government. A tough handyman manager who's completely uninterested in political issues. He's failed to formulate any serious and holistic program for our development. We need to create a new team that will implement these reforms. So, Vorotnikov... Oh, the cat has come to join me. That's nice. Became the head of the Russian government, was a talented leader in several regions. Rizhkov, so he's a moderate who likes me a lot. He's a reformer who hates the shit out of me. He worked at the Uralmash plant before becoming its general manager, and then became the secretary of the Central Committee for Economics. Or we can keep Tikhonov in position. Successfully maintained the inertia of the development. I mean, I think we should put Rizhkov in. He's the best man for the job. I'm also... yeah, so it looks like that is what is happening. That's the change in the trend, and that's the actual change. Let's have a look real quick at... Where is it? Conspiracies. Oh. No conspiracies. Great. Doesn't really tell us a lot, but that's fine. Most of our top guys are fairly keen on us. Right. Just gonna leave Gorbachev for the moment. Got an event here. Francois Mitterrand has asked us to make an official visit to France in October. He's a candidate from the United Left-Wing Parties. France is one of the few countries where socialists are in power. Great. Relations with France deteriorated after we had to enter Afghanistan. Is it worth the effort? Yeah, absolutely it's worth the effort. Americans convened the Democratic International anti-communist insurgent organizations in Africa, America, and Asia. Make an official visit. If it goes well, get +5, and the US gets mad. That's fine. But currently, the US is loving us. Accept the invitation. Or normalize relations with China. Deepen ties with CMEA. Or struggle for influence in third world countries. Oh, Lao and Kampuchea will join partnership with the Comecon. That's pretty good to get off all at once, but I think I do want to befriend France. Nah, let's get the third world countries in. All right, great. So we get Lao and Kampuchea in Comecon. Let's invite them to Comecon. And you invite to Comecon. Place a military base. China would get mad. That's kind of fine. Why can't we invite North Korea to the Warsaw Pact? Because they're not in Comecon. Because they're not in our sphere of influence. I don't understand how sphere of influence works. Okay. Just wondering what we can do here. Some war in Angola. Oh, these guys are under our influence. Could arrange a trade agreement with Madagascar. Don't really know how any of this works, but let's arrange a trade agreement. How about Australia? Nah. Saudi Arabia. Jordan. Don't quite understand what support the network means, but it's got a trade agreement with Libya. Great. And with Algeria. Sure, why not? So this is costing us a fair amount in the short term. I don't know what happened with those various elections we were looking at. Guess it didn't get there in Denmark or Finland. Alright, let's also get some military... Oh, we've got military research going already. Alright, oops. Alright. Now, once again, I have no idea what I'm doing here, so... I'm just clicking buttons and hoping it all works out. I really wish escape went back to the main map. Okay, the leader is umming and ahhing. Okay, we've got the modern computer architectures. That's cool. Does that mean we have a decision about it? Adoption of united computer architecture to standardize equipment and software. Physics points, civilian points, competitiveness, -5 money reserves. Absolutely. Introduce a main unified operating system. Yep. Every year, computers become more capable and more accessible. To unlock new possibilities, we need to use software that's different than before. An operating system that simplifies interaction. So there's a few different varieties that have advantages and disadvantages. There's ANDOS, compatible with MS-DOS, has digital documentation, most convenient if we continue to engage in industrial espionage. INMOS, any model of domestic EVMs, no idea what that is. The most convenient option for installation. CSI-DOS, the most advanced operating system which supports only color mode, which is breakthrough and great achievement. Can work with music equipment, but not all EVMs will be able to support it. MIS, the only OS is not an adaptation of Western developments, but it's not supported. So, ANDOS would give us light industry, services, and civilian points. INMOS would give us heavy industry and military industrial. CSI-DOS we can't do because we don't have the money. Or MIS would basically spend all our money, but would give us heavy industry, military industrial, military special services, combat role, or postpone. Let's go with ANDOS. I think that makes sense to me. Great. New CPSU program. Khrushchev wanted to create the material technical base of communism by 1980. Unfortunately, communism has not arrived. The program remains the same, irritating the enemies of socialism with premature promises made by previous Soviet leaders. A new program. So, socialism versus capitalism. So a bunch of people who basically agree with us will like us more, and who don't will dislike us. Fair enough. Remain committed to building communism. I mean, we have to remain committed to building communism with the interplanetary comrades and the dolphins. There's just no other way to do it. Okay, we're gonna meet Reagan. The freeze of recent years of the Cold War. The main task was formulated. Reduction of offensive nuclear weapons. Okay. So we can ask them to cut Star Wars. Or cancel the summit. Now, I will say the US likes us quite a lot right now. I say we ask them to cut SDI. It was not possible to convince Reagan to shut down the SDI program. He agreed to enter negotiations to clarify the provisions of the ABM Treaty, which limits deployment of missile defense in space, but not its development. We both agree that nuclear war should never be waged, except for us. We had our fingers crossed. Okay, great. Cool. Okay, so the USA just rolled over to 100 and DEFCON went down. Alright, the Netherlands are having an election. Let's just do what we can. Okay, some science points to not being used. Military, physics, civil. Let's keep researching space. Network-centric operations. Every participant in combat has access to shared battlefield information in real time. Sure. Tanker wars. The war between Iraq and Iran has been going on for more than 5 years. The relatively peaceful movement of merchant ships in the Persian Gulf has been ensured. But Iraq attacked Iranian oil tankers. There's been attacks on Kuwaiti tankers. Yeah, let's just protest against it, I think. No, let's, wait, how does this work? Why is the combat readiness more if we do... improving... Sorry. Why is their combat readiness getting worse when we do nothing? I guess it's because they're using their resources in Kuwait. Yeah, let's protest at the UN. Okay. They took control of the Persian Gulf. That's bad for us. Oh, wow. Okay, I have not clicked this button yet. That's crazy. How does this work? Supply routes. Wow. I don't know if we can, like, intervene here at all or whatever. Weird. Weird and confusing. Okay, the next plenum begins. Oppose the neo-Stalinists. Oppose the moderates. Oppose the reformers. Or keep it peaceful. Conservatives are currently in the lead by a significant amount. I'm fine with the neo-Stalinists and the reformers and the moderates and the conservatives. Yeah, so let's just keep it peaceful. I don't really care. Okay. Labor shortage has increased and conscription has increased. Okay, the integrated food supply program has finished. Wait, what was that? Agriculture. Dual-purpose crop breeding. Grain, vegetable, and oilseed crops that have specific purposeful use for industries. Or intensive development. Let's go the dual-purpose crops. Oh, and we finished the proton collider as well. Let's have a look at our decisions. So I guess there'll be economic. Reorient enterprises to receive foreign currency. Reduce the shortage of goods, but increase our dependence on foreign markets. Okay, I don't think I want to do that. We do have a lot of political authority points. Okay, the proton accelerator will cost us $5 and give us a bunch of stuff, piss off the US and everyone else. Whoops. Revise employment policies. Let's have a go. From each according to his ability to each according to his work. Proclaim the famous principle of socialism. Simplistically shortened to he who works not shall not eat. The state cannot ensure full employment should it demand anything from them. The unemployed social benefits or even fining them. It's unclear where the money from the fines would come from. Should we punish the unemployed and force them to work? Wouldn't that resemble the practices of early capitalist England? Alright, let's just change nothing, that's fine. Unconditional basic income. I mean, that sounds pretty good. Let's do it. Direct management shares? Don't think so. Repeal the law on labor collectives. Increase the role of labor collectives in the economy and allows temporary labor collectives to freely form. I think let's leave that. Introduce strict regulation of higher education quotas. No. Legalize Stormovshchina, the illegal attempt by enterprise and kolkhoz leaders to fulfill production plans by any means without falsifying data. No, I don't think we want to do that. Modernize nuclear power plants. Need nuclear power plant modernization. Alright. Well, we'll work on that. Space. Put spy satellites into orbit. Cost us a little bit, but let's do it. That's all that we can do in space at the moment. Computers. Can't do anything. Agronomy. So these are centralized decisions. About how to do agriculture. Ban sausage commuter trains. Citizens from villages and rural areas suffer a shortage of essential goods. They travel to city, increasing demands. It's time to stop this. Sure, let's do that. No more sausage trains. Additional work shifts in the food industry. Change the percentage of substitutes in meat products. I'm not sure about that at the moment. Convert the meat sector to chicken production. I think I'll leave that for the moment. Adopt a new food program. Oh, let's definitely do the production automation. Let's have a look at the food program. Critical assessment of the state of the food production complex. Low labor motivation, inefficient resource use, outdated material, undeveloped infrastructure, and inefficient management system. The key question of the modern agrarian policy is the fundamental transformation of economic relations. But on what basis? Large, science-intensive agro-industrial complexes will increase efficiency and competitiveness. Yep, sounds good. Complete nationalization, entailing the transformation of farm ownership into state ownership. Recognition of equal rights of various forms of socialist ownership. Abandoning the outdated sovkhoz collective farm system. Greater flexibility, experimenting with different farming models. I like the idea of that. Transition to a capitalist model. What do we need for this? We need more money and more reformers. Okay. Alright. We'll come back to that in the future at some point. EEC expansion. Spain and Portugal joined the EEC. That's unfortunate, but, you know, these things happen. Production automation has increased, labor shortage has increased. Let's support the Social Democrats. We're at 30%. We are quite short on money. I think I need to cut some budget spending. What are we going to cut? Let's cut a little bit of environmental support. Import of luxury goods. Maybe law and order. And let's modernize our nuclear power plants. A financial crisis. Oh, yeah, wow. How did I lose 260 there? What the heck? Voluntary compulsory loan bonds. Increase prices for goods. Let's just do some QE, I think. Why is our economy tanked? Okay. So I do actually need some luxury goods. Alright. Let's cut some of our research. Still confused about whether it's all coming from basic income. Is this because I implemented a basic income? That would do it. Alright, let's disable that and see if it helps. Oil crisis. Double oil production. It's the only thing we can do, it seems like. Luxury goods shortage. Legalize small business. Alright. It's a pretty radical change. I feel like we're about to have a total collapse here. The Gulf War. Outbreak of the Iran-Iraq War caught us off guard. Strict neutrality. Reduced arms shipments. American influence increased. Moscow engaged in joint economic programs with Iran and broadcast proposals for reconciliation through the Iraqi Communist Party. The situation began to change dramatically and took a negative turn. A series of failed offensive and counteroffensive by both Iraq and Iran exhausted Iraq's war machine, but not Iran's. Our entire Middle Eastern policy may spiral out of control. Choose an ally. Iraq. Saddam is cunning and slippery like a snake, but at least he's not a threat to our underbelly. Or choose Iran. Yeah, let's go with Iran, just for fun. Why not? We've decided to support the Ayatollah's regime. Okay. Interesting. Oh. So I can influence some stuff here. So I can deploy war specialists, secretly supply or compel alliance members to assist. And assign an advisor. Cool. Is 3 the most stars? No, it's not. Romanov is going to go help. Oh. He can't. Right. Great. Oh, so this is for the whole area. Okay, cool. All right. Yep. Still nothing to discuss with the US. DEFCON has gotten worse. That's fine. Okay. I don't think we need to worry about the elections at this stage. Our issues are entirely financial. Okay, Soviet aviation under threat. Oh, now we're plus 281. All right. The turning point in the shadow war for Afghanistan. The administration of Ronald Reagan made one of the most significant daring decisions, supplying Stinger missiles to the Mujahideen. Okay. Now, I have not actually looked at the Afghan civil war. Okay. Let's compel our alliance members to assist. That's all that we can really do to increase it here, as far as I can tell. Let's keep supporting Demsucks. And let's put our budget back in here. Let's spend up in the military. And maybe just some industry. Non-labor income. 3 colonels have built themselves palatial houses. They couldn't have earned such luxuries in honest work. The concept of non-labor income has long been established. The government's now proposing a decree to strengthen the fight against non-labor income. An intensification of anti-corruption measures, crackdown on the shadow economy, income declaration requirements, cashless transactions, and legalization of small private enterprises. I mean, it sounds alright to me. I think let's go for the revision in the hope that improves the accessibility of essential goods. Okay, but the first version managed to get through. Alright. That's unfortunate, but these things happen. Commissioner Katani. Economic corruption became all-encompassing and in essence legal, especially in Central Asia. One of the most sensational events in the fight against corruption was the cotton affair in Uzbekistan. Inflated production targets, and they were met on paper, but the carriages were filled with waste, and real money was paid out of the budget. Ligachev was sent, who influenced the election of, that's a name, Inamjon Uzmonshoyayev, the successor to the first secretary of the Communist Party of Uzbekistan. It was a corruption case in Bukhara. Arrests continued. The prosecutor began to stall the cotton affair, accusing Guldian of grossly exceeding his investigative authority. Now they've approached me asking for assistance in expanding the case in Tashkent and Moscow. Okay, sadly I can't actually improve it. Yep, we'll just keep going. 20,000 people were prosecuted. Which one of these is Uzbekistan? Let's give them some benefits. Kind of tempted to try and incite public arrest here. Yeah, we're now in the lead. When's the election? France is mad. We can be embargoed. No, we'll just send them a bunch of cash, that's fine. Okay, but we lost the election there? Okay. Not entirely sure why, but that's fine. The bombing of Libya. Gaddafi is one of our most important allies. Defend Libya in exchange for increased oil prices. Yeah, sure, the US are pretty happy with us at the moment. Alright, look, I've been going for over an hour now, so I might call it there. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit fumbling as I'm trying to figure out, you know, what's going on in this game, but I think, you know, the glorious soon-to-be nuclear intergalactic workers council will be victorious. That's my feeling. And if you agree, say so in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.